You're listening to DraftKings Network.
You know that sound. It's the sound of money hitting your Venmo account. A friend paying you back. Or maybe it's getting cash back from your favorite business when you pay with the Venmo debit card. Or it's realizing you can pay with Venmo at checkout at thousands of brands. Now, there are so many more ways to answer the question, what's your Venmo? Download Venmo today. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Dosh Cashback terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the date of the big game first before you accidentally buy tickets on your 20th wedding anniversary and have to spend the next 20 years of your marriage making up for it. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate. Savings vary. Terms apply. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
I'm seeing reports that there's a person that the Panthers canceled on for Jack Nicklaus, and this person is someone that I would have had no doubts could nail this drum beating.
Who's done it best? We've had Livan Hernandez recently. We've had Mike McDaniel. We've had Juan Pierre. Who's done it best? Greg, get your microphone in position before the segment starts. Thank you.
Juan Pierre was strong. Mike McDaniel brings a great energy to it. No one's been as bad as Dan Marino. Those are some of the best ones, I think.
Usman was pretty good, too.
It's Jason Taylor that they canceled on.
Wow. Really?
Why?
Because Jack Nicklaus is, I guess,
Jack
the Golden Bear.
If you have the option of a person that is known for how much winning they've done in their sport, or Jason Taylor on a day that you can clinch. And no disrespect to Jason Taylor, who's a Hall of Famer. This is the biggest celebrity they've ever had drumming this drum.
Right. With that math that Mike just did, I regret Dan Marino ever doing it last year.
This feels right, though. Jack Nicklaus. It does, right?
This feels big.
Yeah.
This feels like it meets the moment.
It feels slow, though.
We'll be there. We'll carry him.
Bringing a champion for this thing.
Like, I do wonder if there's any vetting of, like, does he know how to do it? Like, or is it just he's in? Like, I wonder if there's any email back and forth of sending a video of this is what you're going to have to do just to make sure you're good with it.
He's Jack. He's got it.
Stu, do you think Jack Nicklaus today can hit a drive further than Chris Cote? And Chris Cote can launch off the tee.
100%. Yes.
Wait.
I say no.
I mean,
no, Jack would outdrive you.
I've seen him hit. He
Jack
does
would
the master. Have you guys seen the master? Like
Right.
He hits
the par three.
No. Like the first tee shot, the master.
How far does he hit it?
It looks like he hits it like 150.
Right. Well, he doesn't.
That's me.
Guys,
that's my drive.
He's older than Joe Biden. Like, he's 84.
I mean, when you put it that specific way.
I mean,
he's 84. He's not hitting a driver further than Chris Cote. Like, are you out of your mind?
Yeah, but I mean, still sounds like he can spank it occasionally.
Yeah.
So I think he can ratchet it up just one time.
I worry about it. I don't think
cats.
you got to pound that drum. You got to pound it.
Gary Player is older than Jack, and he's hitting his drives right now 250.
No, Gary Player is of that group of old guys, the youngest one, and hits it the furthest. I'm telling you, I'm gonna see. I don't know how I can look up how far he's driving it.
You have a map presently on your on your desktop. Jack
I wrote
Nicklaus
in
Drive.
Jack Nicklaus driver distance, and it's my location to Jack Nicklaus Drive.
Gary Player is older than Jack.
That's what I said.
By
that
4
is-
years.
That is what.
This is a run for a title. No detail is too small.
But I'm telling you, Gary Player is in better shape. Like, he's moving around more. He's hitting the ball further than Jack
Would Gary
Nicklaus.
Player be better at the drum?
humble brag. I did recently. Well, Glenn Fry was still alive with the Eagles, but I went to an Eagles concert and Jack Nicklaus was standing right next to me the entire time. Rhythm, he was fine. He looked spry. And now, granted,
it was a
while ago.
Yeah,
but he looked fine. Shockingly fine.
Since we're speaking of golf, I will tell you guys that I don't know that it's ever happened in the history of the show what happened after yesterday's show. I find Stugotz to be among the people in my life over the course of my life to be the least introspective. He doesn't do very much in the way of regret after things have happened. He just sort of keeps life moving and doesn't inspect the tattered remains of what he's left in the rearview mirror.
Thank you.
But after yesterday's show, he felt like he blew it because he wanted to talk more about Rory McIlroy, as he likes to call him, because of the way that he choked. And I don't know if you felt bad for him. I do know that Greg Cote felt bad for him because it is pretty rare that you see. I know we talk about it all the time in sports. We love to go on television and say that somebody was afraid of the moment. But it's rarely as isolated as that where you can see that somebody has fallen apart on what should be easier for them. Because I heard you guys talking about one of the putts being something that Greg Cote would have demanded as a gimme at some point.
I would say 2 of the putts.
Yes.
Yeah, right?
I mean, you would have stormed off the green if you weren't given the gimmies that he missed.
Oh, yes, I would have. And it takes me 5 holes to get over that. I mean, I'm fuming if nobody gives me a 2.5-foot putt because secretly, when I'm standing over that putt, I'm worried that I'm going to miss it. And apparently Rory McIlroy was too. That's the amazing thing. That's the big. Stugotz, tell me if I'm wrong. The biggest difference between an amateur golfer and a professional golfer isn't the distance off the tee, although it's that too. To me, the biggest difference is these guys on a 15, 18, 20-foot putt, they expect to make it.
Yes,
They
or at least get it
expect to
down
make
in 2.
Right. And whereas I'm nervous over a 3-foot putt.
Of course.
And so to see...
While demanding that a 2-foot putt be a gimme.
Yes. So to see a Rory McIlroy choke over a 2.5-foot putt is an amazing thing to me.
It was an amazing final round to the U.S. Open. It's why you watch that stuff. There were so many interesting things about it. He had a 2-shot lead. Rory did. He hasn't won a major since 2014. He's come so close so many times. He's had 5 second-place finishes at a major. But to miss those 2 putts and then to see the crowd rooting for a guy in Bryson DeChambeau who they hated like 3 years ago, who plays for LIV. And they're chanting USA, USA, USA for a guy who earns his money from a Saudi fund. I mean, it was, we don't care. We do not care. We don't care about anything. But yes, I did feel bad for Rory. And people comparing this to the end of the PGA, saying Rory wasn't very... he just left. He screeched off in his car. He wasn't shaking Bryson's hand and congratulating him. He's done it all on social media. And they're comparing it to what Bryson did at the end of the PGA to Xander Schauffele. Get out of here. They're totally different things, okay? Schauffele won the PGA. Both players played well. Rory lost that U.S. Open.
Yeah.
I don't expect Rory to go out there and do anything for Bryson. Not a single thing.
I don't know how you're managing to say his first name more bizarrely.
I don't know. It's just a tough name for me.
I mean, given the fact that he hasn't won a major in 10 years and this was his opportunity, it doesn't surprise me that he...
Are you wheezing?
The guy
sounded like wheezing.
The guy that says he could beat me in a holding your breath competition.
No,
It sounded like wheezing.
Maybe take a hit.
You know what? It sounded. Take a hit of the asthma, and it did sound like there was some whistling coming through his nose. It wasn't quite whizzing. It wasn't, but he was also talking at the same time.
I'm sorry to do that. I've just never heard you wheezing when you're not coughing.
But
wheezing.
I wasn't sure whether he was wheezing or on 6th Street over there's a train that comes through, and I just thought that from a distance there was a bit of a whistle. But he was the one talking. I didn't think it could be him because he was talking.
Nice call.
Hit that like a weed pen.
Yeah. You all right?
I apologize.
It's okay.
Bronchitis.
Catch your breath. In the meantime, Chris and I have been obsessing over Drive for Your Life. I think Jack Nicklaus would be a slight favorite. All right, Stugotz, here's a hypothetical.
Okay.
We get a large gallery around the tee. Mm-hmm. Now, they're allowed to do their warm-ups on the range, both Jack Nicklaus and Chris Cote.
This is so ridiculous.
But there's like a 10-minute waiting period between them on the driving range and them going up to the tee.
Right.
You have all those cameras out there, all that pressure.
That's the huge gallery might get to me.
You only get one attempt at it.
It probably wouldn't get to Jack.
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's why.
in play,
like, I have no doubt if they're both hitting it flush, Chris Cote's gonna outdrive them fairly easily.
Chris,
but
you're about 300 yards. Right?
Yeah, a good one.
Yes.
I would say average like 260, 270.
Now, Chris has
Chris
played
can frickin' drive.
No, he could drive it far. He has played in front of galleries before at Lake Tahoe. So
But he
you have
says
that
he gets
experience.
The first couple holes, though.
you get nervous
Yeah,
if
but Jack wasn't walking up on the tee. I mean,
That's what I mean. If you built wrote this up and it was a big thing, and Jack's right next
and
to me.
And you're going
up
against the Golden Bear?
First of all, it wouldn't be safe. Like, we'd have to move the galleries a little back.
No breakfast ball. It may be like he may duck for it 150-yarder up the middle, but
my swing speed is just better than his.
Yeah, but you may shank it because of all the pressure.
But Mike, in fairness to Chris, what we're saying is Chris would have to choke. If they both hit flush drives, Chris is going to win.
Well, that's what I'm putting my action on.
Right, Chris choking.
He's going to go up there and maybe try to do too much and really put on a show from the tee to just no doubter. I'm going to outdrive this guy by 150 and then right into the drink.
And the person that loses dies? Because do you want to be the guy that kills Jack Nicklaus?
That's more pressure for
and
you.
live?
Put it on the pole.
Which live?
No, you want to be alive and be the person that killed Jack Nicklaus.
I don't know. It's so confusing.
How would your life be in the golf community? I imagine you can't play golf anywhere ever again.
Yeah, you'd be ostracized.
Golf community.
At Batard show, put it on the poll. Would Chris Cote outdrive an 84-year-old?
Have you ever played a Jack Nicklaus course? A design course?
I'm sure I have.
I did one in Reunion, and there was a house under construction, and it had his Golden Bear logo on it. And it was a really huge house. Well, I'm getting somewhere with it. I'm getting somewhere. But he apparently, if he designs a course, gets to have a house on whichever course he designs.
Makes sense.
And that's why there was a graffitied Golden Bear logo on this house that was under construction. It's part of the deal. No matter where he designs a course, he gets a house on that course.
I would love to do an interview with somebody who can answer all my questions about the greatest perks that celebrity athlete people get. Because what Greg Norman must get for designing courses, just what are the ridiculous opportunities that these people get better than banging a drum as an 84-year-old at a hockey game? Because I would imagine that we would all be sort of embarrassed by how it is that rich people could get things for free that they don't need because they're rich people.
This home was a multi-million-dollar home that was under construction.
Right, of course.
And he has just in real estate alone, that's probably the real value in doing these courses for him. He'll get a fee for designing it, but he also gets real estate.
He has a club in Palm Beach called the Bears Club.
I didn't spend enough time
with a massive house.
What is Dax? Are you
tracking all our cars on Carvana Value Tracker on all our devices? Yes, Kristen. Yes, I am.
Well, I've been looking for my phone for.
In Dax's domain, we see all, so we always know what our cars are worth.
All of them?
All of them. Value surge, trucks up 3.9%.
That's a great offer.
I know. Sell?
Sell.
Track your car's value with Carvana Value Tracker today.
Hey there, Ryan Reynolds here. It's a new year, and you know what that means. No, not the diet. Resolutions. A way for us all to try and do a little bit better than we did last year. And my resolution, unlike big wireless, is to not be a raging and raise the price of wireless on you every chance I get. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited. See mintmobile.com for details.
Don Le Batard.
And then Matt Stafford threw him 25 and 2. Oh, there's a brand new kid in town out of BYU.
Stugotz.
They call him Puka. Puka Nakua. His quarterback is not named Tua. Yeah, he is Puka. Puka Nakua.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
I didn't spend enough time yesterday on something that is being neglected as we talk about whether or not the athleticism of Chris Cote will hold up against the past his prime Golden Bear when Chris Cote is also past his prime, because
my back hurts.
Oh my God, this is funny. Stugotz limped in here today because he played a set of tennis against his daughter.
7-5,
He limped in here, and he is legitimately hurting. His whole body hurts. And Chris Cote, again, I mentioned this yesterday, but I didn't delve into it. Chris Cote had a non-contact back injury. Chris Cote's back seized up from just sitting around. It wasn't that it was while he was sitting down. It was not an action injury. He was just sitting there and his back seized up at one point and he howled in the general direction of his wife.
I wasn't even reaching for anything. There was no movement. I was sitting.
It happens.
And it was,
Yeah.
Oh, I just almost did it there, doing it. And I literally just, dude, the worst pain.
Yeah.
I have no idea what it is.
Back pain.
It's your back.
Is there is rarely anything that is more taken for granted than back health. Because once back pain grabs you,
I was like, what if I just can never walk again? Like, it was that sharp of a pain. I'm like, where'd this come from? What if my whole life is over as I know it?
It's your biggest fear. If you have lower back issues, any movement, a sneeze could throw it out of place. And it is the worst
you say
feeling.
A sneeze, but he wasn't doing anything at all.
I understand that. Sometimes you just move the wrong way, you get up off the couch the wrong way, and all of a sudden you can't walk for 4 days.
Stugotz, he wasn't moving. There wasn't movement involved.
It's the rare non-movement back injury. I'm going to agree.
He just seized up, and what washed over me was how pathetic that is. Like how you have to just take some inventory of where you are in aging and mortality when you are so dad that you injure yourself without an action. This is like Howard Bryant tearing both his hamstrings getting out of bed in the morning.
You could do that, Dan, or just take the big needle. I mean, that's what I did, and it hasn't acted up in 10 years until yesterday.
Well,
I mean,
you're in bad shape. Like you're in bad shape from playing a set. Right. I didn't mean it overall, although that too. Right. You're in bad shape from what happened playing against your daughter. You don't seem well.
Rachel got really good at tennis. I have no idea how, but usually I would beat her 6-0, 6-1. Maybe I give her 3 games, 6-3. She took me deep into a set. 7-5. I mean, I beat her 7-5, but she took me deep into the set.
But she beat
I was
you.
not planning on playing 12 games.
You're broken. You're broken today.
And she's fine. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you guys about something because I have been interested in these streaming wars, at least in part, Stugotz, because it's become evident to me, talking to people and reading about it, that all of these CEOs that are getting so much money to lead us into the future of televised entertainment, they really don't know what they're doing. Like they're in way over their head on an assortment of things, and I think we assume that these people know what they're doing.
In their defense, it's changing so quickly, it's hard to figure it out.
Correct,
right?
But when you have CEOs who get all of these giant things that are bigger than all of the employees by multiples that carry businesses, you expect them to lead you into a future. What I'm telling you is that what they're paying these people, most of them do not know what they're doing in a way that has become obvious to everyone in Hollywood by the decisions that are being made. After the strike, they didn't know how to handle the strike. They sort of ended the strike without knowing what it is that they're doing, and they now also don't know what they're doing. And it's part of why you're getting such homogenized content, such content that doesn't take any chances. It's all a little bit the same. They're all trying to copycat things as the hedge funds come and ruin another thing. But in the middle of that, Netflix is winning. And Netflix is winning, at least in part, because they've got so much money, but they can also be nimble with that money. So you saw what happened with Kobayashi and Joey Chestnut, right? Did you see that Netflix is going to pivot to take that from Nathan's because they have the dexterity in order to do live content where they can suddenly take that holiday by just taking the two brands in competitive eating and saying, oh, you're going to discard that? Okay, we'll take that. And look at what we'll do. We'll end everything that you have over there. And Joey Chestnut will be a vegan hot dog eater. And we're going to pay brands and we're going to do it live. It is super interesting to me to watch the big money because Amazon's not going to sit this out, Stugotz. Bezos is not going to sit this out. Like
too competitive.
They're going to lead on the live programming, but Amazon's going to have to get in that game.
What's remarkable about Netflix is this veering into the groundwork was laid long ago, but we're seeing it all actually play out now. Them really turning to live events kind of happened as they did the password sharing thing. And the crackdown there really worked because it was not like 8 months ago. You're saying that they're winning now. 8 months ago, strike was going on. People were worried, oh, you can't actually show your subscriber base. You'll tank the industry. You'll tank the stock price. They were in a bad way. And in just a couple of short months, they've totally turned the narrative around.
And Netflix is going to turn this Chestnut versus Kobayashi thing into an annual thing or into something that continues as a franchise, just the way they did in golf with that thing where once a year they have the 4 celebrities play a round of golf. That's going to be the same thing with eating now. They swooped in, and they're going to own this. Netflix is now going to own competitive eating.
They have the 2 guys you want to see eat. I can't believe it.
It's amazing how nimble.
Right.
It's amazing how nimble they are, because as soon as the news breaks that Joey Chestnut,
they moved.
As soon as that stuff comes in about the vegan hot dogs, and there was even a back and forth. No, he's not exactly out. Before you can get that sentence out, Netflix announces him versus Kobayashi.
Well, presumably his agents were putting all that together, right? And that's why he takes a $1.2 million deal, because he knows he has the Netflix things coming. When you say people are going to get in the game, do you mean Amazon's going to have hot dog eating contests also, or just general live events?
Live events.
It'd be great if everyone just had their own hot dog eating contest, like Apple has one, Amazon.
But Netflix has the 2 guys you want to see, right? They do. That was a smart move by them.
I'm going to read something to you about Netflix from Vulture's streaming newsletter. Less than 2 years after Wall Street, many in the entertainment industry soured on Netflix. There's been a vibe shift from both camps. The streaming giant is back on top, arguably stronger than ever. In recent weeks, its stock price has flirted with all-time highs as investors applaud Netflix's return to double-digit subscriber growth and quarterly profits measured in billions. Those gains have come in no small part by a series of moves consumers would probably say they hate, cracking down on password sharing, putting commercials on shows, and hiking the monthly fee. But those viewers seem pretty satisfied by Netflix's content strategy, embracing both ambitious bets like Three Body Problem and Ripley, as well as crowd pleasers such as The Night Agent and The Roast of Tom Brady. And it doesn't hurt that rival conglomerates have once again taken to leasing their biggest library titles to the enemy, allowing Netflix to give its member access to linear TV faves such as Young Sheldon. Overall, this year's ranking race wasn't even close, says one veteran TV publicity executive. Future installments of this survey may actually need to place Netflix in its own above-it-all category, with everyone else fighting each other down below while the king sits by and takes it all in amused. They announced themselves with what the ridiculousness of Jake Paul and Mike Tyson is, because everybody's trying to get into live sports. But now you're just going to take over sports? You're going to take competitive eating. You're going to take boxing, because you're going to take a big night in boxing and just put on a circus event of ridiculousness, as you already get in the wrestling game, because you're making Nick Khan and Vince McMahon all kinds of rich because they have a product that they can put live on Netflix. And MMA is about to come up again at ESPN. Dana White's going to get out of there in 2025. He's not going to be at Disney anymore. He's going to go over to Netflix.
Man, they've been such great partners to him. I'd be curious to see how that plays out.
It's going to be interesting.
I love that it can, like a streamer that made its billions upon billions on video on demand, and you watch on your own time, now making a play for linear television's big ratings grabbers, live events, live sports, roast. That feels like an event. I wouldn't be surprised to see if they make a play on an award show, because these are things that you have to experience live. And if linear TV is going to start getting out resourced in that game, then the whole thing looks super different until we all just revert back to cable television.
Greg, I heard you and your son talking, and he was accusing you of privilege because of some take that you had about parking that I wasn't privy to, but I only caught a piece of it, and I'm not used to your son looking at you. He's a child of privilege and accusing you of privilege. But what was this parking-related take, this privileged parking take?
It's my latest pet peeve. And I introduced it on my podcast, and it's become a real thing in my neighborhood. Okay, neighbors are parking their cars on their lawns. Okay, you got a driveway, but there's a couple of cars in the driveway, 3 cars in the driveway. You need more room. I don't know how many cars you got at your house. Maybe it's 8, 9. People are parking on their lawn, not on the swale, but on their lawn.
Wow.
And it's ugly. I don't know where privilege comes in. It's ugly.
I'm saying it's because you have a house that your sons have left and you only have 2 cars there. But there are people who have houses where they have their sons living there and their sons' sons. And there are people with a lot of, like, where are they supposed to park?
But you want your neighborhood to present the right way.
Thank you.
When people are buying a house, you want them to drive through that neighborhood thinking it's a good neighborhood, and parking your car on the grass of your house does not suggest that this is a good neighborhood.
I don't know what he's
Greg
doing
has every
there.
right to be upset.
I think
He
I'm
does.
just thinking of swale. I drive through your neighborhood. People park on swales. I don't see people like pulling up past the sidewalk.
I'm going to take a picture of it and show you.
Okay. I mean, I'm with you that's a little odd.
You got to pitch in the neighborhood. You do. You have to keep your roof clean.
Thank
you have
you.
to keep the driveway pressure clean. You have to do what you have to do.
And the biggest perpetrator happens to be the guy I've already got a beef with because he's the the holiday besmircher who's putting up his Halloween decorations in late August.
He's got like the premier corner spot in the neighborhood. It's one of the first houses you see. He crushes all the holidays. I love this guy's house. When I'm going to my parents' house, it's like it's good energy, and I guess he parks on his
How many
swale.
people live there, though? Because Chris's point is a good one. If you have 8 people living in a home with 6 cars and you only have a driveway for 3 or 4 cars, what are you supposed to do?
Okay, this guy has a driveway. He's got a swale. But he's parking his cars willy-nilly all over the grass. Never in the same spot twice in a row. Smart, because if you do that, the heat of the engine is going to burn a patch in the grass, and the tire marks are going to kill the grass as well. So he's doing the right thing. But I'm going to take a picture and show you. Every time I drive by, there's like he happens to have like a couple of big giant pickup trucks. Big giant pickup truck.
Well, that's why, right? That's why there's no more room in the driveway, right? Because they're
Get a bigger driveway. I mean,
yeah, it's just
what?
Stugotz is right. It's an eyesore. It's an eyesore.
Isn't this the type of thing that would bring down the property value of your house? The neighbor doing that?
Yes,
that's what I'm saying. Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Oh, if you thought Stugotz knew all of the rules of the neighborhood just because of etiquette and is just being polite, you don't think that every good thing that he does is tied to whatever it is that makes him money?
This guy's like a half a mile away from my dad.
It doesn't matter.
This
Clean
guy's
your
not
roof.
affecting my dad's
I drive
Here's
by him every day.
all of a sudden, Stugotz is a community organizer. You got to keep your roof clean. Why do you think that is?
It's the head of the HOA.
I mean, driving down the value of his home. How long have you had that home? You probably rode a horse and put some stakes in the ground for it.
I did. I got the horse out back. But
parked in the front would have been funny.
Yeah, parked on my lawn, riding a horse. I'd rather have a horse parked on a lawn than a big-ass pickup truck.
On your stable.
It's ridiculous.
Makes sense.
Is his driveway otherwise full? Is that the reason that it's happening? There is no, you would have him park where? What's he supposed to do with the other car?
I see a big pickup truck on his grass when there is a spot in the driveway. Okay.
Well, it's probably because someone's left while that was parked.
His wife's not home yet. That's her spot.
I'm going to go to City Hall. I'm going to speak to my commissioners and see if I can get this done.
You're not
yes,
gonna,
I am.
You're not going to do anything.
Right, I will.
You're not going to do that.
At Sierra, you'll always find apparel, footwear, and gear for 20 to 60% less than department and specialty store prices. But right now, it's clearance time, so you can save even more on everything you need to get active and outside. Visit your local Sierra store today.
Don Batard.
He, for some reason, would do a Gary Stevens impersonation of the offensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins and the University of Miami. Go ahead. Do you want to do that for the people? Your Gary Stevens impersonation? You want to give people some of that? 30 years in the making.
Stugotz.
What? Who needs me?
Oh, that?
What?
I do that my whole life.
You're going to go to Buffalo and win with Bernie Pomeroy? Who needs me?
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz.
That's right. It's time for Against the Spread. And it is sponsored by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Roy, tell me you're taking the Panthers.
Game 5, Stanley Cup Final. The Panthers are 1.5 goal favorites tonight. Now, the Oilers have failed to cover the puck line in 7 of the last 8 games following a home win. And the Panthers have a 4-game winning streak. So the Florida Panthers are going to win the Stanley Cup tonight at 1.5 goal favorite against the spread.
You guys okay with that? The jinx of it?
Did I misunderstand you, though? Did you say the Panthers have a 4-game winning streak?
Home winning streak.
Home winning streak.
Yep.
Okay.
0-1 in the last one.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
On the road.
Yes. You're not jinxing them, though, by picking them, right? Just to be clear?
Just to be clear.
Okay.
No.
Matthew Tkachuk might have jinxed him. He pulled his best Messier. He said, we're going to go out there. We have an opportunity to do something big. We're going to go out there and do that.
He didn't say what, though.
Did he say what it was?
Do that.
He also didn't say, well, he said we're going to go out there and do that tonight.
Right.
Wow. Oh, okay.
But it worked when Messier said it. I mean,
It's the Eastern Conference Final when Messier said it.
What do you want me to do? Like, you just control what you can control.
You're right.
I'm wearing my closeout jacket today.
Okay.
I've seen 2 Prince of Wales trophies lifted in the last 2 years when I wear that jacket.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Messier said Greg was right, by the way. That he's not a great one until he wins a cup.
Yep, he did.
Messier was on my side.
He also said he was McUnderrated, which is weird.
There
was a disconnect.
Yeah, he was making mistakes.
Mike, who you got?
Nationals, Diamondbacks tonight. Slade Cicconi's not very good. They have a bad bullpen. I think the Nationals can tee off a little bit. So we're going to go Nats against the spread.
Hey, you should just
Billy
snuck that in
boy.
there, man.
I, too, am going to take the Florida Panthers tonight, Dan.
Oh, shit.
0-1 in the last one, as we reported earlier in this very exclusive segment here. But you know what they're going to get tonight, Dan? Some home cooking.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
Billy's been on fire.
They were the last team to arrive. Edmonton beat them here. I don't know how, but short rest for the Panthers, but they're going to feel it. They're going to feel it in the den tonight, in the barn, if you will.
There it is.
They're going to win by
I just
-1.5.
I hate that we're in a contract year with DraftKings and that all around us there's serious and good gambling analysis, and that's how Billy gets in.
Billy's on fire.
I'm right every single
He
week.
is, right.
I predicted the UFL championship game.
And he called it a barn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, that's true. He did call it a barn. Yeah.
The analysis, the conclusion that we're making around here, because I do have a decision to make on behalf of the company. They are claiming in the department that helps us buy things, they are claiming that they are running out of billboards in Edmonton and that we have to make a decision quickly.
I told you McAfee was going to buy them, and you guys didn't listen to me.
That's what Big Billboard would say in Edmonton.
That is true.
Right.
They're digital billboards. They can create another one like that.
They're saying, though, that they don't have many left and that if we
It's a
want
sales tactic,
something
Dan.
to run from now until June 25th,
I was taking a moose.
we have to do it right now.
Allocation?
I have seen Angel has done a good job with the graphics, so I have seen a number of the options. These could go up. These could go up in a way that if the Panthers lose tonight, people streaming into Edmonton for Game 6 would be seeing billboards of Greg Cote saying Greg Cote was right.
But that's not funny. If they lose Game 5, like, it's
kind of funny.
I don't understand.
I mean, it's kind of funny.
I think it's funny. I think
Because
the risk
we're
of
the
it all
idiots?
is but if at the end of it, I just want to understand what you guys think. You guys are of the belief that what is going to happen here is we're going to put up billboards, and then 40 years from now, somebody's going to say, "Do you remember that time that the Batard show cost Florida and the Panthers the Stanley
I'll say
Cup
it.
by putting up a billboard?"
Yeah. That legacy will be carried on through my
That's
children.
funny. That's
because
funny.
I would hold you personally responsible.
That's funny.
It's not funny.
Okay,
It's
because
not.
you take this very seriously. It's not
Yeah,
funny,
well,
but
I'm
it's
sorry.
funny.
It's only the hardest trophy in sports to win, Dan.
My daughter will be impressed that, wait, this guy that everyone hates, he used to be your boss? Like, yes, honey.
The thing that I'm laughing about is that you guys think that we have any control over how the hardest trophy in sports is won. Like, that's the part that's funniest to me.
Okay, yeah. Superstitions are stupid.
The
I get
second
it.
funniest part to me is that this particular person, this hockey expert, is saying something that we could say as the most common sports radio argument that we present to the aliens as what's the dumbest things humans do. They take something that's great and they argue about whether it's underrated or overrated or properly rated when everyone rates it differently. Like it's almost the dumbest sports argument. This guy who's clearly great at skating on razor blades faster than everyone else and doing things with the puck that change the way the sport is played, even though Barkhoff is on the other side, that we can affect it by putting an old man's picture up who's got bronchitis and can't get through a segment without whistle wheezing.
You're only going to make Greg Cote and fans of just anarchy happy. You're going to make most of this market upset. You're certainly going to make all the other markets upset by being so brash. It's going to be a terrible look for us if they lose tonight, go back to Edmonton while you have celebratory billboards up. Like, you're doing it for a small fraction of folks. We're looking you. Do you not care for us? We're asking you to not do this.
Most
please.
people won't get the joke. It'll just make us look unorganized and be like, "Why'd they do that before they won?" Like,
no, but like we're the three biggest Panther fans that you know. We're all looking at you, asking you, please, maybe don't do this. Maybe your brand and all that. Maybe you can do all those hijinks after we actually win. But on the front end, maybe, just maybe, let's see if we can do something for the first time in franchise history, please.
The man said that Connor McDavid plays 7 minutes a night.
Well, I said 7 minutes a period.
No, you didn't.
You said 7 minutes a night. I knew what you meant, Greg. I knew.
It was a
But you guys are misunderstanding Dan. Inventory is tight, okay? Like,
I don't buy that. And if it's tight, so be it.
You got to act now.
Okay.
While supplies last.
All right.
Pam, you're looking around to your allies, and it's Billy Gill, and it's Greg Cote.
Yeah.
And no one
It's the
here is
audience.
acting
I
in
think
good faith.
I think the audience would like me to do this. And you did claim yesterday when I'm asking, did we get used by Dan Hurley? You're like, get used. Attention's the only thing that matters. Attention. Attention's all you ever want around here. Attention. That's what we want.
I don't understand what you're doing. It's apples and orange. It's snapples and oranges.
Well, what's the payoff? It's attention, right? So either way, you get the attention. Who
This is
cares?
bad
we want the attention.
You
No
want
one wants
credibility
this.
with
No
a
one wants
billboard
this. Nobody wants
behind?
this. No one wants this.
Greg does.
If the attention is, look at these idiots, they lost and they put up a thing like they won, like that's not funny. It just makes us look dumb.
Guys, you can put one in front of my house if we win. Just wait.
It's coming from Mr. Everything's Good for You.
All right. As the star of the Billboard.
Thank you.
As the star of the Billboard, let me propose a very simple compromise. The Billboard goes up in Edmonton tomorrow morning if the Panthers win tonight.
Deal.
Fine.
Simple as
Good.
that.
Dan doesn't want that. Thank you.
I'll give you 5 claps.
By then, there's no billboards.
They might not have
run out by
billboards.
tomorrow morning. They
this-
need to know now.
This is a very
inventory
effective
game,
troll.
There's a
We're not
billboard
doing this.
shortage.
We're not doing this.
Are
like
Kristen
eggs.
or Cynthia out there? Can I ask them what big billboard is saying about how inventory is shrinking in Edmonton as we speak? Because they're saying we have to act now.
Yeah, bullshit.
My man Greg came around.
But Greg thinks it's a brilliant idea, and Greg badly wants to do it because Maximum Me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a great billboard, too, especially because the likeness of me is from like 1985.
That's what's great.
I look youthful.
It's just a musty photo.
It's me, Maximum, by the way.
All this is dumb. The Oilers are really good after a 3-game losing streak.
Just as funny after. It's not funnier.
They got to win. They got to beat a good
You
team.
wake up in Edmonton and the billboards are there.
They got to beat a really good
And if you
team, a
lose,
team
it's
that's
funny.
hard to beat, a team that
tomorrow
on the
morning.
balance of the entire series probably shouldn't be down 3-1.
It's a good team.
This
It's a
show
team
is
I'm scared of.
This show is playing Panther-like defense right now. What? Swarming.
Yeah.
Our forecheck. This show's forecheck right now is overwhelming.
Edmonton should wake up to that billboard after the Cats raise the cup tonight.
And you
That's
know
what
it.
should happen. And you know it. And you know it.
I mean, all
But
of
they
it's a bad look.
can't unless Dan puts the order in now.
correct.
That's the point.
You
Well,
can't-
but
you
the
can't have
order
a-
in now is contingent
That's it.
on the Panthers winning.
Act
And if
like
they
we've
don't win,
been there,
you
even though
eat
we've
the
never
the deposit. You eat the deposit if the Cats lose.
Eat the deposit.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
I've seen the quotes. We'll live.
Okay. All right.
We'll live.
All right.
They're not that expensive.
It's
The billboards in
fine.
Edmonton.
Well, it's in Canadian.
Trust me.
Canadian dollar.
It's like a fourth of your 4 stops on a flight to Edmonton.
There you go.
Oh, good. Oh, great.
We're good.
Greg, I do want to celebrate how pathetic your mustache is 1 week into this experiment. You're going to keep it up, right? This has been
Yeah.
met.
Oh, yeah.
Your wife hates. She must hate what's happening.
Well, she's
right now.
mocking it right now more than hating it. Give her time to hate.
But it's
Right now-
gonna take the way that it is now. You look like somebody, okay, who runs a business in railroad in the 1920s.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
You,
so thank you.
You're somebody who pays for things in cattle.
Right. That's right. No, I feel that it's coming in. You know, I don't like to look at it because it makes me
Slowly,
sad.
yeah.
But I feel like it's coming in.
It's not coming in, and it's going to be a month before it comes in at all.
It's not a problem.
It is barely something that anyone can see, and it's patchy.
We're zoomed in on it and I can barely see it.
It looks like you've just missed some spots shaving.
It's my playoff stash.
what a year 2024 was. Happy New Year's, everybody. New Year is this week. And some of you are going to be counting down to the new year with a lot of friends and a lot of family around. That's a lot of palates. How do you make everybody happy? You make them happy by making New Year's time a Miller time. It's a beer with taste you know you can depend on that won't let anybody down. No games, no gimmicks, just great beer for people who like beer. In all my favorite moments of 2024, Miller Lite was right there by my side. Responsibly, of course. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than other light beers. Simple ingredients like malted barley for rich, balanced toffee note flavors, and that iconic golden color that we all know and love. The original light beer since 1975 and still the very best one. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.